Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of our special show, Till the Bell. I am here today with the host of the Till the Whistle podcast, Alfie. Alfie, how's your week been?
Good, very good. I've been watching all the wrestling, all
I know
the
it's
wrestling.
it's Netflix. It does it to you. It drags you in that way. You think you're watching Squid Game, and all of a sudden, Ethan Page is on your TV.
Oh,
And we are
hopefully.
here today to talk about exactly that. This week's debut of Raw of Netflix in the world and in the rest of the world outside the US. All of wrestling's debut on Netflix. That is Raw, that is NXT, and that is SmackDown because no one watches NXT Level Up. You can't lie to me. So we're not going to run through every single thing that happens on each shows. I mean, that's 8 hours of content there that we'd have to run
Yeah,
through.
I'd imagine so.
And,
Yeah.
and for certain things, there's a lot I want to talk about. So we will essentially what we'll do is we'll start on Raw. We'll go through the talking points of Raw. We'll then move on to NXT, talk about a few key things there, and the same for last night's SmackDown. Because as we were recording this, it is Saturday, January 11th, meaning we've just watched SmackDown. We've just sat through the first 3 hour SmackDown, and God, didn't it feel like 3 hours? But we'll start with Raw, and first thing I kind of want to massively talk about is The Rock.
hmm
Now we watched this live together,
Yeah.
and I had some opinions at the time. I think everyone else we watched it with was a lot happier than I was seeing The Rock.
Yeah. I think it's I don't know, seeing The Rock's always a bit of a you don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like he's a bit of a because last year it was, oh look, I'm gonna fight Roman and then oh no, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of Cody. Uh
Mhm.
but yeah, it's difficult. I don't know. Um
So the report coming out of it is that well, let's run through what happens before we start talking about our opinions
yeah,
on it. The Rock comes
yeah.
out. He talks about how it's the largest arena gate in history, which PW Insider then reported that if that includes foreign events, that gate would have had to have been over $3 million. Which I mean,
Mm,
I saw the prices for the show. It's very possible. It's a big arena.
yeah.
But The Rock comes out. He thanks Netflix. He thanks all the executives in the front row, everyone at TKO, which does include himself after buying a bunch more shares over the last week.
Yeah.
And then he does something interesting. He talks to Cody Rhodes in the crowd, and he makes a joke about Mama Rhodes. I'm like, oh, okay, this is when things start getting serious now. This is when Cody comes in, they have a brawl, maybe Kevin Owens comes out, whatever.
Yeah.
But he says, give my love to Mama Rhodes. And Cody is forced through gritted teeth to laugh at him in the front row. To just be like, oh, you.
Why you like, eh?
Oh,
Uh,
look at this Dwayne guy. I mean, he was in Red One. And
and
then
Black Adam.
he was in Black Adam, which my next note actually on this is God, I wish Red One made a profit so he didn't have to be on this show.
Yeah, big time.
Uh, he gives his love to Roman as well. He acknowledges Roman as tribal chief. He says that if he beats Solus Coa, which he did, he'll acknowledge him as a tribal chief and he'll lay the Ruler Fowler on top of him.
hmm
Now, what do you think about this? It's a different Rock than the last one we saw that was booting
It
Cody
was
Rhodes' head into a bus.
it was strange. But you kind of got that sense halfway through that promo that this isn't going to be a classic Rock promo where he kind of shouts everyone out and says he's going to kick everyone and just beat everyone. Um, no, it seemed more like this is Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. It felt like a Dwayne Johnson promo, not a Rock promo. Um, which I guess, depending on how you look at it, depending on how you want the future of kind of matches you want to be, I guess it's bad and good. Um, but yeah, definitely don't think it was the best promo, but it wasn't the worst either. Kind of, it got some feelings going, definitely, but it has confused me for the future of The Rock at this moment in time. Um, but I guess in a way that's a good thing as well. I don't want to know what's going on all the time. Sometimes you want to be guessing. Uh, so yeah, I think that is definitely something that I'll definitely keep an eye on in the future. Which I guess WWE's done his job there. To be fair.
It's kept people talking, it's kept people interested, and I will talk a little bit about The Rock a bit later when we talk about NXT because he was on that show and God, he was definitely there.
Yeah.
But so the way I've seen it is he split it into The Rock has three characters at this point. You've got the final boss, who is the all-bearing bad guy who will throw Cody Rhodes off a whatever into the side of a bus, will make him bleed, will say this and that about Cody's mum. You've then got The Rock, which is the Rock we see most often. That is the Rock that will come out and cut a concert, or will say his catchphrases and ask people if they can smell what he's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
This was neither of those. This was, as you said, this is corporate Rock. This is Dwayne Johnson, member of the board, friend of Netflix. This is just like having Macaulay Culkin or someone like that in the front row. It's just a guy that's there because of Netflix and is there because of the board. I hope we get more. I really do, but I'm not positive about it. I think a lot of people, us all included, saw the end of Roman Solo, which we'll get on in a second, and was like, oh, okay, that's your Mania match. But then I've gone online and Fightful and PW Insider and Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer have all come out and said that no one knows if he's doing Mania. But a lot of people felt like that was his way of saying the story's dead for now. I'm not doing WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't like to base like a full opinion on an event that's going to be happening almost 3 months away. It is 3 months away, isn't it? Based on one promo. I've seen wrestlers do one promo and then the next week turn like ridiculous. Like Kevin Owens, for example, recently, he was doing a promo one week where he was saying he liked Cody. The next week he was, power driving him in the middle of a ring. So it is hard to say off one promo. But yeah, someone as polarizing as The Rock, it did surprise me that it didn't state anything really. It kind of just sure it opened the show, and I guess it was a nice opener, but it didn't make a statement for the future of The Rock. So I guess you're right. But yeah, at the same time, yeah, as I say, it's got positives and negatives to it. The positives being I don't know what's going to happen, and that's nice. The negatives being, mm, it's just
It
that
it
kind of
didn't
thing.
feel like pro wrestling and that's if I was the one with the pen in my hand and I had the booking control and you said move this card around, I'd open Raw on Netflix with the Cena promo.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I was around people and that's the best way to watch wrestling and we were all massively happy to see him.
Uh-huh.
But that John Cena promo felt like the biggest part of Raw on Netflix. It felt like it was this new version of Cena who's back full time now, and we'll get more to it in a bit. But it felt like it was a perfect opening to Raw.
It would have been. Definitely think so.
But the first match we got on Raw was I don't think there was any argument as to what this was going to be. As soon as we knew what the main event was, we had Roman Reigns taking on Solo Sikoa for the Ulafala and the name of Tribal Chief. I believe it's silly.
Yeah.
Tribal combat is silly. But so is pro wrestling, and that's why I love it. I
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this match.
Oh
I
yeah. It was ridiculous. It had a little bit of everything. Shades of WrestleMania 40's main event. Except the people returning wasn't really like legends of the
Yeah,
sport. It was more just people in their story right now. Owens and Rhodes to be specific, really. Uso and Zayn came out at some point, but that's the all we've really seen of Zayn so far on the two. He only came out for a second, did a little bit of a thing, and
I
then
was really hoping to
went.
get something more from him, but
Yeah, it's
I
a, it.
love Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it was a nice. Yeah, as I say, it was a nice bit to the fight because obviously, as I say, shades of WrestleMania 40's main event, and that is probably one of the best WrestleMania main events I've seen in my time of watching pro wrestling. Uh, but yeah, it was a great match. It was a really good match. Like even if it didn't have them like entrances, I think it would have been a really really good match anyway.
I think definitely it was. I struggle with Solo Sikoa at times. I don't think he's great in the ring. I think he's definitely getting better on the mic. I think as soon as he got that kind of character to himself post SummerSlam, where he was essentially like the mob boss Solo Sikoa,
Yeah.
and he was bitchy and he was laughing with Jey Uso in the crowd when he lost the belt. And I think Solo really carried himself well this match. We know he wasn't on SmackDown this week. We know that he's been announced for next week's SmackDown, and I'd assume that's when you try and move him away from Roman and the Bloodline, because I think if I'm honest, I think you've done well enough building him up now that if he goes away from the Roman Reigns side of things, where he's always going to look weak, you can make a top main eventer out of him, a top mid card guy out of him. I mean,
Yeah, I do struggle with Solo, similar to you. Again, it's the in ring and on the mic. He's definitely getting better at both, and he did carry himself well in that match. But it is easy to carry yourself well in a match with Roman Reigns. Um, I'd like to see him carry himself well in a match with someone maybe further down the card. Also, I think I just want to see a Jacob Fatu turn on the bloodline at this point. Whether that includes Solo, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I need to see Jacob Fatu doing some of his own stuff because man, that guy is just electric when he's in the ring. You saw him. I unfortunately I didn't get to catch the main. Is it the main event that was the tag team match on SmackDown last night?
the Jacob Fatu tag team match was the
Yeah,
main event. Yeah.
I didn't manage to catch it, but I did catch where he came out and attacked LA Knight and
Yeah.
Cody came out to help and Jimmy came out to help, and he kind of just was it a chair shot he just took
Oh yeah.
and
He
then
just he
turned
just
around.
he did, he, just, he
It was
ate it.
crazy. I do love him. I think he's awesome.
I do really like the fact that he seems to be very close to Nakamura and LA Knight right now, which makes me think maybe you just kind of you admit you were wrong to give Nakamura the belt and just slowly slide it onto Jacob Fatu.
Yeah,
The US title, not the IC. They called it the IC title earlier. No, you
yeah,
just carry it up. You strap the US belt to Jacob Fatu and you just watch it rise up the card because he can main event shows with it. He
he
can main event weekly TV with it.
yeah, 100%. And you know what? That US belt has it's been through some turmoil recently. Logan Paul kind of ruined it for a little bit because he didn't turn up on main
I
shows.
don't think that's fair. I think it was ruined before then when it was Rey Mysterio. Was it Rey Mysterio? He won the belt off Rey Mysterio.
That yeah, okay. So it was ruined before that, mostly because you can't remember who it was given to.
Yeah.
Right. That is a fair point. But Logan didn't do anything good for it. And
No.
you'll see if we ever do one of these specials again, which we will. You will see I am a Logan Paul #1 hater. I hate that guy. Don't like him in pro wrestling. Sure, he's good in the ring, but I don't see any other positives to him being there. Um, as US champion, I think he just carried that belt further down the card than it needed to be. Um, so yeah, it needs a revival. At this moment in time, it needs a revival. And the name that pops into my mind, as you say, Jacob Fatu. Any belt would be lucky to be around his waist,
Oh,
realistically. You know what I mean?
definitely. I think you also look at the year that the IC titles had, and it massively slowed. Again, I love him, but I think it slowed down at times with Sami Zayn.
Mm.
But because it was kind of in this weird wave, it wasn't the main event, but it was too good for the mid card.
Yeah.
But Bron Breaker's two runs, whether you thought they should have been the Jey Uso 2 week in the middle or not, I think has really solidified that belt as the workhorse of Raw, and I think it's something that you look forward to seeing on Raw, which you never used to get in the kind of
Yeah.
the late Vince McMahon era.
I can just say I was surprised I didn't see like obviously we saw a Bron Breakker appearance in the crowd, but there was no
Yes.
Bron Breakker match on Raw as the opening Raw. I feel like they're not marketing him at the best of times, really. There were some matches in that, maybe one or two matches that you think just bin it off and let Bron Breakker have a go. Uh, I can't remember some of them, and that is the problem. I mean, the Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley one, okay, yeah, sure, it's essential for the end of that story, but we want Bron Breakker, is what we want.
Well, you
He
know what wasn't
can be,
essential to this story or this show at all? Jay versus Drew.
yeah, yeah. Realistic, it could have gone next week. Realistically, it could have gone next week,
But
and it
then
would
you
have been
couldn't have
fine.
Travis Scott smoking a spliff in the crowd.
There you go. But Bron Breakker should have had a match last week, opening of
Oh,
Raw.
definitely.
You should be marketing him as the future face of the company because he is that good. He is that good. Um, you see it every time he gets in the ring. I use the same word I used to describe Fatu is just electric. He is electric and he can do almost anything in the ring. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna say who I know his opponent would be, but he could easily go on like a Cena-esque US title run where he just
Oh,
stands in the middle of
definitely.
the ring and just says, "Go on then,
It's
have a
just
go."
someone just come get your ass beaten.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's I think that's what a lot of people want. I think that's what people are missing sometimes,
Oh,
is
definitely.
that kind of shock match where it wasn't build beforehand, but the promo was built. No one's going to happen. Open challenge, boom. You got a match that
Mhm.
night, and it's between two good people for a good championship. And I think that's what we're missing at the moment, a little bit at least.
He's a good match machine. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think I've ever seen Jacob Fatu have a bad match since coming into WWE. I think
No.
every step of the way, I think they were right to hold off on debuting him because they thought he'd overshadow Solo. I think he's miles away from him now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, that's what I mean by the kind of bloodline turn. And to be
Hmm.
fair, that bloodline turn doesn't need to turn into a rivalry. There's no need for that. Maybe one or two matches between Fatu and Solo could suffice. But other than that, I think if Fatu was to turn on Solo, you could pretty easily separate them two quite quickly and leave it
Oh,
to
definitely. But this is Triple H we're talking about. I don't think he's ever had a storyline last less than 6 months.
yeah, he does like long-term storytelling. It
I
is
mean,
a
speaking of, right, we move on. I think the next match on the card, you're talking Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley for the women's world title.
yeah,
This match had to happen. Of course it did. Eight,
yeah.
9 months this happened. I'm happy it didn't happen at Mania
Oh, 100%, definitely, yeah.
because I think that was the plan for going into a lot of it. And then we'll talk about it more in a bit, but you had Becky plans as well for Mania that seemed to maybe have fallen through. I think anyone really knows what's happening with her.
Yeah, I think
But
a massive part of Triple H being in charge is he listens to the fans.
yeah,
We saw that at Last Mania as well. I really enjoy that part of this because if the fans make themselves heard,
mhm.
he's likely to pivot unless he really believes in an idea. But this is
Oh, of
one that
course.
could have gone either way, you know. And I'm happy he pivoted because realistically, um, Morgan in the and I will call it form because she's been better than this.
Yes.
I'm not saying she's the best wrestler in the world. She's not, right? That's not true. She's been better than this. This is a patch of really bad form, for Morgan. And the match wasn't that bad with Ripley. Definitely not that bad. Definitely wasn't great. It definitely
I've
wasn't
seen her
too
have
bad.
I've seen her have worse matches. I've seen both of them
100%,
have worse matches, if I'm honest.
100%. But it was a very mid, 4 out of 10 kind of match. It wouldn't be
I
remembered
think
by
that's
anyone.
exactly what I gave it when we were ranking it together.
Yeah, it was essential and it needed to happen, and now it's
Mhm.
over, and Ripley can move on. Can I ask quickly before we move on, who's next to push for that belt?
For Rhea,
Yeah,
I think it's Becky. I think Becky wins the Rumble.
okay. Do you
I
not think
think
there's a
Becky comes back, wins the Rumble straight away, throw her in the main event.
okay? What do you think of Raquel Rodriguez and the Judgment Day at this point?
Oh, I don't like Raquel. I'll say it frankly.
No.
Raquel's my least favorite member of the. Well, Carlito. Mm. It's one of the two, right? I like Finn.
Yeah.
I I can tolerate Liv, and I really like Dominic Mysterio,
Yeah,
and
big
JD's
time.
also there. But
Yeah,
I think Raquel will split off into kind of a tag team with Liv now, just because I think that's what they both need.
yeah. To be fair, when you were watching them as a tag team together, they weren't that bad. They used to put on
Oh,
some decent
definitely,
matches
yeah,
and stuff. Maybe that's what they need for a little bit tag competition. Get them back up the card again, because honestly, the form that Liv's been on recently, and Raquel hasn't wrestled in I don't even know how long, a one-on-one match. Raquel's not been in one for ages, has she? You come back
no.
from injury not long ago. So yeah, it'd be definitely interesting to see them too. Do you think the Judgment Day needs to just call it a day now?
I think you need to commit to it either way. Either commit to them breaking up, or just stop teasing that you're going to break up every week. Ever
Yeah.
since this new Judgment Day got together, they've been at each other's necks the entire time. There's been dissension since before the group even existed. As soon as you got the Terror Twins out, as soon as Priest left, as soon as Rhea left, they already hated each other.
Yeah, it is difficult. I love Finn Balor. Um,
Hmm.
he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers in the company at this point in time. Um, and it's a struggle to watch him get just pummeled every week
Yeah.
because they're fighting. Is it Monday? They're fighting Damien and Finn,
Yes. Monday is
and
the street
you
fight
feel
between
like
Damien Priest and Finn.
you just know what's going to happen. You just know what's going to happen.
Oh,
You
of
feel
course,
like
yeah.
Damien, and it's been happening for a couple of years now, where they've just been burying Finn deeper into the dirt. I remember at Mania 39, and I'm going back a little bit here. He's had in a cell match with Edge. I don't get
Oh
that result.
God.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Why would they let
I
Edge win
completely
that?
forgot
That's
about
it's
that.
been happening since then. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Finn
mean, you
Balor,
look the year before, right? He had the world title match against Roman Reigns,
yes,
where he was buried because he lost because the ring caved in out of
right.
nowhere. The Finn Balor lost because of God that night.
Right.
The ring ropes fell, and he lost because God decided it, and that was enough to end the match.
Right. It's weird,
But
isn't it?
I
But
I completely agree
then
with
he had the then he
getting the
had his
Judgment Day gone.
world then he had his world title matches against Seth that he didn't win for whatever reason. The
I
WWE
still think
decided
going
to.
back, he should have given him the belt.
Oh, 100%. The story would have been really good.
Hmm.
Him and Damien had money in the bank.
Yeah.
You let him and Damien kind of tease at each other for a little bit before you let Damien cash in. It's probably better than the Mania moment that
Or maybe
Damien had in.
just give Judgment Day anything to do ever, because
Yeah,
they don't. They've been in the
they
feud
don't.
themselves for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked for a while, and now it don't anymore because no one really cares about the kind of members in it anymore. Damien and Rhea kind of obviously everyone cares about Finn, but he's the only one. You need two people to bounce off each other for people
Oh
to care
yeah,
about a story. Um, but Damien's gone, and now in a rivalry with Finn that no one seems to care about anymore. Rhea's gone in a rivalry with Liv, a rivalry which really no one cares about anymore. Yeah, it's time to split them up and let Finn run solo for a little bit. As heel, he can stay heel because he's
oh
awesome
yeah.
as a heel. I like him as a
I
face
hate
and a heel though. He's one of them wrestlers, you know what I mean?
I hate to say it because it feels like a demotion, but it worked for him last time. Go back to NXT for a year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, why
it's a
not?
real shame because I'd love to see him on Raw, and it does feel like a downgrade for him. But he went back to NXT for a year, rehabbed his character, came back up and was a big deal again until they ruined it again.
They ruined Finn a lot, and to be honest,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I keep getting surprised that he's still with WWE at this point.
Hmm.
It's like, what the hell are you doing to this man?
I mean, he's a former leader of Bullet Club. He's a You look at someone like him. He's best
He's
friends
world
with the
renowned.
Young Bucks.
Yeah, he's world renowned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
but he grew up in Japan with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and people like that. And when you see
yeah,
all of them getting to do good wrestling,
yeah,
I'm very surprised he's still there.
100%, 100%. Especially when
But
AEW would have an open door for
I've
him.
I've realised that I haven't asked you yet. Who is next for Rhea Ripley?
Hard to say. Because there's a long time before Mania. She's got to fight someone before then. Will they do? They won't do a chamber for that belt, will they?
I don't. It all depends, really. If they do, I'd imagine they should.
The thing is, there's a lot of belts now to go around for Elimination Chamber. Which ones
But
do they do that for? And which one?
Raw's women division is stacked,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think, especially with, and I'll talk about it a little bit. I think there'll be someone else that's part of that roster very soon, in Roxanne Perez.
yeah,
But I think
big time.
I don't know if Becky Rhea is the Mania match. I
I think
think it is. I think that's what they've
Io,
been telling us.
Io
Io's.
looks
If you'd asked me before
the
Raw on
Becky
Netflix, I would
Rhea.
have said Io.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I like Io Sky. I think she's awesome. Also, if Dakota Kai wins the Intercontinental belt, the women's Intercontinental belt on Monday, I
Yeah.
kind of almost I'll make a prediction saying Io Mania because Damage Control.
That's fair.
I think they want to push him again. When's Asuka back?
I believe she's still got a month or two. I think she might line up for the Rumble.
Okay,
I think that might be
okay.
another one that lines up perfectly for the Rumble.
I think you give Dakota Kai the Intercontinental belt on Monday. Let her hold it for a
Mhm.
little bit.
I think that's
Then
probably I think they might end up doing that, to be fair.
yeah, and then Asuka and I apologize, I forgot the other one's name.
Harry saying.
Kairi Sane, of course. I think you give them tag team gold for a little bit, and then let Io fight for the championship at Mania. Whichever way it goes, don't care. Push them a little
I
bit.
just
They need
worry
it.
then because I think your two big world title matches at Mania are then babyface versus babyface. Because spoiler alert, I
Mm.
think your other match is Cody versus Cena.
Yeah, possibly. It's difficult. It is difficult to predict right now. But if it's Rhea Becky, isn't that babyface? Would Becky come back as a heel?
Well played.
You think?
Charlotte Rhea.
I would love to see that. I've been saying that for a while now. Whatever event it is at, I don't care where they wrestle again.
Give us
We need to
Charlotte
see a
Rhea
rematch.
again.
We need to see it, bro. It was so good at Mania. It was match of the night, day one match of the night, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and it was probably top. I forgot the other matches for
But
Mania 39. Definitely top two, I reckon.
that's the
Possibly
first
Mania.
they've done it twice at Mania, haven't they?
They did for the NXT. They did it for the
Because
NXT belt at one point.
they did it at Mania 38
Yeah,
when Rhea won the Rumble.
yeah.
No. Miss, really should know this.
Rhea won the Rumble before 39.
Yes, because that's when they did.
Because Charlotte had the belt going into it, and we all knew that she'd be a placeholder.
Yes.
Everyone was a bit angry about Charlotte holding the belt then, because what the hell? But she was a good placeholder, and then put on
Rhea won it
an
last year.
unbelievable. Rhea won the Rumble last year. She had the belt. She was fighting Io. No, Asuka, someone like that.
No, you are okay. No, you are right. So I figured it out. Last year, Bailey won the Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, before 39 was Rhea who won it and faced Charlotte.
Yeah.
36, Charlotte won the Rumble in 2020 and faced Rhea.
Right.
So your Mania match, I think Charlotte would be incredible.
100%.
But I really don't like Charlotte. As in a way, she's good at her job. If Charlotte comes back as a heel, I will boo until the crowds come home. Right?
Yeah.
Because she's so dislikable.
Yeah, 100%.
She's the Nepo baby of the women's revolution. But she is also incredibly talented.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah. It's hard to say. I don't even think I need it at Mania. Put it on at Elimination Chamber if you need to. I don't really care. If you have different plans for Mania, make that match happen, because I tell you what, it made Rhea's reign last time a whole lot better.
Oh, definitely.
She fought Charlotte for that belt, because it was an unbelievable match and everyone thought, oh, okay, she's the real deal. So yeah, put them two in the ring together and we've got business, really.
All right, well, moving a bit on to that too. We actually only got this in the UK, so anyone who is watching from the US, you wouldn't have seen this. We had a backstage promo with the New Day where they announced why they weren't on the show. They said Los Angeles didn't deserve to see them wrestle.
Yeah.
So they were going to just walk around and try and get someone to finally listen to them speak.
Yeah.
So the tag match with Ray and a surprise wrestler that we definitely didn't know who it was cancelled.
Until Raw literally just told us.
Until Chad Gable decided. Chad Gable walks up to Adam Pearce and goes, I've been reading the rumours. I think you should find me a luchador to fight. Meaning this week on Raw, next week on Raw, Chad Gable will be fighting the best luchador in the world. And I really hope Dominic Mysterio comes out.
Yeah.
I hope the best luchador in the world is not Penta, but is Dominic Mysterio. Because I love Penta more than anyone. I remember before I'd seen that the match wasn't on the card, I turned around to you and went, if Penta debuts tonight, I will buy the Penta shirt as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
And I still might end up doing it next week. I think he's such an incredible wrestler that will get watered down in the WWE style. Of course he will, but everyone does. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think Penta is going to massively surprise a lot of people when he comes in, because it's not just another luchador. No, he's not Rey Mysterio. He's not Sin Cara. He's not Kalisto. He's better because he'll kill you.
Nice.
But moving on from that, we then got my favourite part of the night that I mentioned earlier, John Cena.
Yeah.
Who I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to hate.
Right.
Like, I grew up hating Cena. Everyone grew up hating Cena. Apart from the US title reign.
Yeah.
It was always fun to boo Cena because he got the big spots and he was on the TV shows. He had the Fruity Pebbles. But it felt magic when he came out tonight.
100%.
It felt emotional at times when he was in the ring. When people were chanting, "You deserve it," and "Thank you, Cena."
Definitely.
But to run down the basics of it, he does the same thing The Rock does. He thanks Netflix. He thanks Triple H. He thanks everyone in Los Angeles. That's where he started. And then he says he's never going to win a world title again. And he talks about his 2,000-day singles match losing streak.
Yeah.
But then he does something that Cena does so well. Because I hate to say it, Cena is nothing but an incredible actor.
Yeah.
He turns around and says, well, I guess in this industry you can never say never, but it would have to be a miracle. For something this big, you'd have to win the Elimination Chamber or cash in Money in the Bank and then just goes quiet.
Yeah.
It's then along the lines of, well, maybe I could win the Royal Rumble. and the place just erupts.
Big time. I mean, he knows how to work a crowd. You've seen it through his how many years? It's like 20 something years now he's been in the business. That guy is just incredible on the mic. Um, yeah, I don't even know how good he'll be in the ring anymore.
I
I
don't
don't
care.
really care. No, absolutely not. It is about the storyline. And I'll still watch a Cena match. Definitely. Um, and I hope when and you were quite critical of this when we were watching it. Uh,
It's grown on me.
yeah, you were quite
I
critical,
think
and I
I,
just
I
thought,
was, yeah, but that's because I'm not. I still don't think I am on board with Cena winning the Rumble,
okay.
just because what do you do after?
He says he's going to be at every event, so it's not going to be like a.
That's less my worry. It's just, does John Cena really go and have a 9 month world title reign?
I don't think it needs to. I don't think it matters. I think if you can win at Mania, it's about the Mania moment.
Mhm.
You can have it for a month, lose it at Backlash if he wants to. He could be a placeholder champ, but the placeholder champ at this point in time, this placeholder champ would be incredible. Because then you could give him an Intercontinental run at some point, make him a
Yeah.
Grand Slam champion. You know what I mean? I feel like this year of WWE. Sure, there's storylines involved, but this year it's about Cena, realistically,
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
and he wouldn't want that. And I don't think there's any way he'd walk into Triple H's office and go, "This year is about me," because he's not like that. He's happy to put people over. He's happy to do anything that the company really wants him
I
to do.
genuinely think if Cena wins a world title this year, it will be against what Cena wants. I really don't think he wants the last world title as a person.
No, I don't think he does, but I think he definitely deserves it, and I think
Oh,
people
definitely.
understand that. Um, yeah, give him his Mania moment. I don't mind. Just give him it. And then
I
if you want to take it off him again, fine. It suits me. I don't mind. I think he wouldn't mind either. Putting someone over. You get a new champion in there as well, can't you? Because it didn't even have to be Cody again. Like if
do
he
you think
beats
it's
Cody,
yeah?
yeah, you give it someone else. Let him put someone else over.
I'll ask you the question then. Does John Cena win the Royal Rumble?
It's it, it's him, Punk, or The Rock at this moment in time. The Rock is third on my list right now. I think it's because of his promos, and obviously I'd have to see him another week or whatever else he does throughout until the Rumble. And I'm gonna guess he turns up on Saturday Night Main Event. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna guess he turns up there just to make a little promo of some sort.
It wouldn't
Um,
surprise me.
no, but Cena third. No, sorry, Rock third, and then it's Cena and Punk, and I don't know who. I don't know who I'd give it to. Genuinely don't know. Because I imagine by that June there is a title on Punk.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, whether it
I mean,
be
I think it would
either
be
world
before
champion.
Mania, but that's just my fantasy booking little world.
Could he win at Chamber? Is that what you think?
I If Punk doesn't win the Rumble, I think Punk wins the belt at Chamber.
I think that as well. I think that'd be great. I think you put Gunter's belt on the line in a chamber, that match would be
Hmm.
unbelievable. You think about the people you can get in that, that is
Oh,
ridiculous.
definitely.
Good, and to be honest, Gunter needs a match like that because
Yes,
he's compared obviously, and it's hard to match the Intercontinental belt run he had. It's been very underwhelming.
of course,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, he needs something like that, and I think Punk would be a good, worthy winner.
All right. Well, I'll pose you the other question then. Does John Cena win the world title at WrestleMania?
Yes,
Off who?
Cody.
John Cena beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. It's
Yes.
I I I hope it doesn't happen, but I do think you're right.
I don't know who else he could be. I see. I've been in support this whole time of giving the title to Kevin Owens, so
Oh no, exactly.
it's hard
Yeah.
to say. But I don't know. It depends how Cody loses it beforehand, and I don't know who Cena would beat other than Cody. But yeah, it would be difficult to make Cody lose. Um,
I also think it seems weird to have him win his 17th world title, and it's not the big belt with the WWE logo on the front. I
yeah,
can't see him going and winning the world heavyweight title.
no. So he will definitely win the. Yeah,
I personally, I'd have him not even fight for the belt at Mania. I'd have him probably go up against Logan Paul, which I know, sorry, but then
that's
I
bad.
think you drag it on along, give him these big dream matches that don't have to be for the belt, and then on the last Raw. of 2025, he either wins it and relinquishes it,
Yeah.
or he's won the belt a couple months before and he loses it on that show. And you put someone over like Bron Breakker.
Oh, big time. I can see Braun Breaker on that kind of thing. Yeah.
Cena will put someone over on his way out. It will either be
Oh,
Cody or it will be Bron Breakker.
yeah, he'll lose his last match in the WWE. I feel like that's going to be like a Ric Flair type thing. It's like a
Or
retire me
what if he
type
doesn't?
match.
What if the last time we see John Cena as a pro wrestler is him cheating to win? You've
Yeah.
had 20, 25 years of not doing the heel turn. What if for one night and one night only you get the heel turn?
Yeah.
It
It
would
would
never
shock me.
happen.
No, it would shock me, but it's nice to theorize, I guess.
Speaking of things that shock you, right? We have the second match, the penultimate match on this card, as Jey Uso and his good friend Travis Scott walk down to the ring together. Travis Scott is on what can only be known as the Wacky Backy,
Yeah.
and everyone's loving it. It's the other than Cena, it's probably the biggest reaction you get all night
Big
for
time.
Jey Uso in that crowd, and it was just beautiful.
Hmm.
And then Drew comes out, and then the match starts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the positioning on the card. I don't know if it was on too late. I don't know if people were used to 2 hour shows and the third hour felt like it dragged, but this felt off.
Yeah. It was a forgettable part of the night. Um, but the result I don't mind. I don't really care. I don't think anyone really cares. It seems like a bit of a you can yeah, as I said earlier, you just put it on next week. You know what I mean? They could have
Yeah.
just had it next week. Um, no, I don't really know where they're going with that storyline at this point in time. I'm guessing Drew's
I
just
would
trying
have
to beat everyone up, but
I would have
yeah.
thought what you do here is you have Drew beat Jay and
Mhm.
just move Drew up the card again. Like
I
he's
think
gone
they
from
want
Sammy to Jay to whoever would be next, probably Gunther.
I think they want a rivalry with Drew and Jay, wouldn't they?
It's because it's probably the best way to get Jay on the Mania card.
Yeah. Is the rivalry gonna last that long? Jesus.
Yeah. I assume you get some kind of tag match. Sammy and Jay,
Yeah,
Drew and Seth,
maybe. Yeah.
Drew and Kevin Owens.
We could see a Seth complete heel turn. That'd have to
I
happen.
think I think you get a group of Drew, Seth, and Kevin Owens. They all have that kind of common enemy in the terms of like the Roman Reigns and the Cody Rhodeses, the CM Punks,
Yeah,
or the
Seth
Bloodline
doesn't
in
really.
general. That whole
Seth would
story.
have to return on Cody again then though, because
I don't
they
think he'd
kind of
turn on
made it.
Cody. I think he'd probably turn on Sammy because they've
Yeah,
hinted at those two for a while now, and they've had here's and there's back and forth.
yeah.
But I mean, I hate to move past it so quickly, but there's really nothing to talk about Jay and Drew,
No,
about
definitely
this
not.
match in general. And I mean, I have to realize we are 45 minutes in.
No,
So
that's
we'll look at
just
Punk and Rollins.
the meeting time. That's not recording time. You're okay.
Well, wait to pull back the fourth wall.
Sorry.
It's ruin it. It's still real. It's still real to me, Alfie.
I was just gonna edit it out. You're all right.
No. Now we have to leave this in because it's just going to break up otherwise. Punk versus Rollins, the main event of the show. Right.
Yeah,
CM Punk comes out.
yeah.
We get to hear the best theme song in all of professional wrestling.
Mhm.
And it was just me and you screaming the words in our friend's back garden at 4 a.m.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm assuming the neighbours were
it's,
not happy.
no, I'm gonna assume that as well. We were very loud all night, so
Oh,
thinking
it's a
that
great
naturally.
song. I love Living Colour.
Uh-huh.
This match was beautiful. I thought it was the best match of the night.
Yeah, yeah, that or Roman and Solo, but yes, it was a very good match.
It was less of the kind of big spectacle that Roman Solo was.
It was just a
I feel like it
big,
was.
good match.
I think it was the best wrestling you got all week. I'd
Yeah,
say.
100%. Yeah,
Looking up and down the card of NXT and SmackDown, maybe Roxanne Julia, which will be the next thing we talk about after this. But other than that, I don't see anything that comes close to that level of Punk Rollins.
no,
I think Punk is so over. No
of
matter
course
what
it
you
is.
think of him as a person, I know there's so many people that still don't like him
Yeah,
for what he's done, and I think that also helps in his favor because this story's his story since he's come back have felt so real.
Well, they are realistically, aren't they? It's
At the end of the day, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I listened to Rollins on Chris Van Vliet on the Insight, and man, he does not like that man at all.
Not in the
It's
slightest.
it's yeah. It's a weird story to follow when you know there's genuine hatred between, or at least one of the parties towards the other. I'm not even sure if Punk hates Rollins like that. I don't think he'd have a reason to, really.
I think even if he did, he knows he's on such thin ice.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Rollins is a professional, uh, and he's a great wrestler. So anyone who gets in the ring with him, I think, where you kind of put on towards a great match.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
and as a Shield fanboy back in the day, Rollins and I mean Rollins and Reigns are my two favorite in WWE probably at this point. Um, but yeah, yeah, it was a
That's
great
because
match.
you didn't grow up on Money in the Bank 2011 like I did. 2011 Money in the Bank was the greatest, had the greatest wrestling match of all time on it. When CM Punk in a Chicago crowd, the day his contract expired, won the belt, sat on the ringside, and kissed the WWE goodbye for 8 days until he came back. But that's
Yeah,
not important. We didn't know that at the time.
yeah,
But I think in general, Punk and Rollins have both had very good years.
big time. Yeah,
They've not done massive amounts, either of them, in terms of in-ring work. I know they've both been injured realistically,
yeah.
but I think you had Seth versus Priest, which I don't think was terrible.
No,
Obviously, you had the three matches with Drew and Punk, which especially that Hell in a Cell, it made it onto my State of Play top 10 matches of the year. Just a little plug there.
big time.
Uh, but other than that, I think 2025, assuming they both stay healthy, is a big year for both of them. I
Yeah.
think one or maybe even both of them win world titles this year.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. I think Rollins. I would say I'd like to see him on a workhorse belt, but I don't think he can facilitate that at this point in time.
Oh no, no. I think if you get a Rollins title reign this year, you get Punk wins the Rumble, Rollins wins the Chamber,
Yeah, that could work.
and then that's your
Um,
Mania match again.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the plans of Rollins is for the future.
We like to. I've sat here fancy booking a hell of a lot, but I'm very excited about the fact we don't know what's happened.
No, there's a lot of
Normally,
ways it
this
could go.
time you know who's won the Rumble, you know what the kind of main event of Mania is, but there is
Yeah.
so many options.
Oh, 100%. And that is a great thing, you know. And Triple H has done really well to kind of make that happen. But no, I don't know what the plans for Rollins will be. It's hard to say. Um, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I
It's
think he
hard
always
to.
gravitates back towards Roman eventually, or
Yeah,
that kind of story.
yeah. And you know, it's a good story. Fans love it. You
Oh
eat it
yeah,
up because the Shield was just so good.
and it still
Um,
feels like somehow there's more to tell between the two
always,
of them.
yeah, always. Because it seemed like with Mox leaving, there was like unfinished business there. Because there was never really a rift when Mox left. They didn't really like hate each other
No, no.
again. They just kind of just moved apart, and that was
They
it.
just stayed away from each other for as long as possible
Because I
until
remember,
they crossed.
yeah, I remember Mox's leaving kind of promo after a Raw, and they didn't. They were just friends because they were in the Shield. And then the next couple of years, they didn't even see each other. And all of a sudden, Rollins is saying, "Oh, I hate him. I'm never going to team with him again." You didn't have a problem with him when you left the Shield. There was no problem. In fact, I saw you hugging in a ring, buddy.
I I do think that if we ever make Till the Bell a regular podcast, I'd like to get a counter of every episode of how many times you can bring up John Moxley.
Oh, I'm going to bring him up all the time.
I think you can find any subject and bring it back to Dean Ambrose in 2015.
I love Dean Ambrose in 2015. In fact, just a side story. I was watching a No Mercy event from 2017, and I swear to God, Ambrose and Rollins versus The Bar, they put on one of the greatest tag team
Oh
matches I've ever
God.
seen. It was crazy. It was so good.
Is
I
that
don't even
is
remember
that
it.
the match where Cesaro goes in the crowd and rips up the beach ball?
No, I don't think so. But it is the match where Cesaro loses his two front teeth because he headbutts the
Against
ring
the ring
post.
post. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. It was a great match. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep bringing it back for Ambrose every opportunity. Yeah, I love them three. The
Now,
Shield unit.
we've spoken a bit about the past.
Mhm.
I do want to have a look at the future.
Yeah,
And I think you look at WWE's women division, and there are two people that are their future, and that is Roxanne Perez and Julia. Great transition there from me.
big time. Love
Proud
it.
of that one.
Uh-huh.
Roxanne Perez and Julia opened up NXT's New Year Evil and had a beautiful match. I was going into it, I knew Julia was going to win. Of course you did. Everyone had kind of seen that, oh, it's Rumble season and Roxanne's had this belt for a while now. And
Yeah.
Julia's the one you just spent big money on. Maybe give Julia the belt.
Hmm.
But the best wrestling is when you go in and know the result, but the wrestlers can convince you otherwise.
Oh, big time.
And
Uh,
that's what these two did.
yeah, I've been a big supporter of Roxanne Perez this whole time. Maybe there were question marks over her promo ability, but she's 23, isn't she? It's like
Oh
she got
yeah, and I think
time. She got time to
when she
develop.
turned heel, I don't think there was any kind of argument that that's just how she's better suited.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, big
Some
time.
people just aren't baby faces, and I don't think you can hold that against her.
No. Um, yeah, she's a great wrestler as well. So at this point in time of her career, I feel like the wrestling's more important because I doubt she'll be pushed for a world title straight away. With them
Oh
new
no, no chance.
kind of mid-card belts for the women, I'm guessing she'll be pushed for one of them almost immediately when she gets into it. There's people around there that you could put her in a rivalry with pretty easily. Um, so yeah, it again, it's at this point in time, I feel like I keep saying it, but it's really hard to guess what is going to happen. But every
Oh,
year you feel
definitely.
like this is never the case. I feel like I could tell you almost from January onwards what's going to happen, why it's going to happen,
I know
who
it
the
took a
main
while to
event.
get there in the end, but at this point last year, I could have told you that the main event of WrestleMania was Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
I could have
definitely.
told you that you started to know that Sami Zayn was going to beat Gunther,
Hmm.
that Logan Paul would beat Randy Orton. I know Kevin Owens was involved too, but you started to have these ideas around January last year, and I don't think I can sit here right now and tell you a single match on the Mania card.
I, ju- I, I mean, yeah, it's so difficult. You think you could possibly squeeze like a mid-card match out, like these two are going to be a rivalry then, but I genuinely don't think I can because I don't know when rivalries are going to end. I don't know what new rivalry is going to pop up between now and Mania. Maybe at Elimination Chamber we'll have a better idea of what's happening. Uh,
I think
but
by the
honestly,
Rumble
at the
we'll have a good
moment,
imitation of what's going on.
what's the last event before main PLE before
The
Mania?
Chamber.
Is it actually?
So
Okay,
we've got Saturday night's main event, then the Rumble, then Chamber, then Mania. There might be a Saturday night's main event in between, but I don't think it's
okay.
important.
No, no, fair enough. But yeah, going. Yeah, sorry, we were on Roxanne Perez and go back to her. I think she'd be great in the main roster. I think she'd be really, really
Oh,
good.
definitely. And I do think you do have to be careful with her because she's young. You don't want
Definitely.
a Pete Dunne situation or a Tyler Bates situation where they go up and get lost in the shuffle. That's
Yeah,
unfair to Tyler Bates. He's been injured, but Pete Dunne, come
100%.
on,
Yeah.
come on, Butch. Uh, but I do want to spend a second on Julia before moving on. I think she has come into NXT and has proved that she's probably too good for NXT, but we knew
Okay.
that before she showed up. I think they'll keep her around long enough to do the big match, which is Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Okay.
Both the two big names are signed, and Stephanie Vaquer was on an AEW pay per view 9 months ago, and now she's working in NXT going for the mid card belt. It's They like to push these names to the top when they've got the AEW label on them. But Julia and Stephanie Vaquer will be your big women's title match. Julia will lose the belt to Stephanie Vaquer eventually, and that's when you spring up from the roster, probably no later than just after SummerSlam. I think
Yeah.
she's that good that she's so ready for the main
Mhm.
roster already. But speaking of ex-AW names, we got a backstage promo with The Rock. He's not the ex-AW name. And another man that I think will be in the Royal Rumble making his debut, Ethan Page.
Yeah.
I think
Do you think he's good enough for the main roster?
you've seen parts of that Page's NXT run. What do you think in terms of that character?
Yeah, look, I don't keep up with to date with NXT a lot. And I must admit, before it was on Netflix, the whole all the WWE events, I didn't keep up because you kind of fall out of it between kind of, I don't even know, Survivor Series and around
Oh,
now.
definitely. You get that low period after SummerSlam.
Yeah, definitely that kind of, yeah, definitely. Um, but no, yeah, I kept my eye on it. He's gone through a couple of like different characters. The ego stuff was, I thought it was a bit annoying to be honest, but I guess that's maybe what he wanted. Um. But his kind of revenge character now seems a bit better because
I'm really enjoying it. I think it was a good idea to give him the NXT belt. I'm surprised he didn't have it for as long as he should have.
maybe,
But if that was your quickest way to get the belt onto Obafemi, power to it and get Ethan Page on the main roster.
yeah,
Because he had a promo here with The Rock, he's had promos with Punk, he's gone back and forth with a couple of people now,
oh, he's good on
and
the
I think
mic.
he's
Yeah,
ready.
he's
Oh,
good really
definitely.
on the mic. Yeah. It's his in-ring ability that I'm not 100% sure about. Uh, I don't think he's bad. Definitely not bad. Um, but he's not going to set the world on fire in the ring.
I
Is
don't know
is
if
kind
this
of
is
what I'm going for.
insulting, and it's going to come across this way, but I don't mean it. In ring, I compare him a lot to someone like an LA Knight.
Yeah.
Nothing special. The
No.
Miz, Karrion Cross, nothing special. Will get the job done every week, but you're not going to watch. You're not going to see Ethan Page to watch him wrestle.
Yeah.
You're going to
It's not
watch him
worth
cut a
it.
promo on someone. You're going to watch him. You're going to watch that character.
Big time.
Someone who I would want to watch wrestle in person, and God, I hope I get to soon, is Obafemi
Yeah.
winning the NXT belt finally
Hmm.
versus Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. Sorry, they very much hinted at this that Eddie Thorpe was injured, so it'll be a one-on-one match. But then Eddie would come out and take the pin. That's not
Yeah.
what happened. Eddie Thorpe comes back into the match injured, gets thrown around, but then they give Obafemi the big spot of power bombing Trick Williams and pinning him clean for the belt.
Yeah.
Trick Williams is someone that I think will be kind of you'd start looking at maybe you call him up in the Rumble, maybe after Mania. I'm not a fan
No,
at all.
neither am I. No. I think he's okay on the mic. He's not powerful on the mic, but he knows how to kind of rise a crowd. He doesn't give powerful promos. Uh, and in the ring, he's just nothing special. He's just not. He's just not. He's just meh.
I think he has a presence. I think that's all there is to Trick Williams.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's that kind of person where people will come out and sing his song, and will cheer him, and he can get a crowd worked. But I can never remember. I can never picture him having that serious edge to him. That kind of
No,
you couldn't see him
but
cutting a promo with Seth Rollins, with
there
CM
was that.
Punk, with Roman
There
Reigns.
was that minute. There was that minute that I thought maybe he can be something big when he turned on Hayes, or
Mm-hmm.
Hayes turned on. Was it the other way around? Hayes turned on him.
All around you.
Yeah, there was that rivalry. It kind of shot him up a little bit. But then again, Hayes was too good for NXT, and I think we
Oh, of
saw
course,
that
yeah.
quite a lot. I want to move on to Hayes really quickly because I want to speak about him now. It's coming to my mind. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, of course.
Hayes coming up to SmackDown, first round pick. They ain't used him as I thought they would. Really not. He
I
had
think he
one
should
good
probably be the
match.
champion.
Yeah, they had one good match with was it Andrade? Yeah,
He
and
had
then
an
they
incredible match with Andrade,
yeah,
to be fair. They ran
100%
it back
right.
7 times.
It was like Triple H saw that and went, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And it's like it didn't need to be done again and again and again. Sure, it's a good match, fine. But that's not them two. That's not exclusive to them two. Hayes is good, right? Hayes is very good. Get him in the ring with someone else. He'll show you he can put on a match with anyone. Didn't he have a match with Cody on his first night in SmackDown as well?
He did. It wasn't perfect, but it was a decent enough match. It was,
You got yeah, you got to remember as well. There's nerves included in that.
of course, you're fighting
You
the
think
world champion like a month after
yeah,
debuting on SmackDown.
exactly, and you got to think these are people too. I think
Hmm.
some people, I do forget that sometimes myself as well, but nerves included. And as soon as he's kind of integrated into that SmackDown
Oh,
locker room, I
definitely.
think he's been better. But yeah, I think they've underused him big time. I would like to see him kind of rise up a little bit. But yeah, back to Trick. He's just not as good as Hayes, and I think that's what people are kind of benchmarking him to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard not to when they were together for so long. They had that rivalry together, and it was good. And then he's kind of moved off Hayes and he's not been as good. And that's where people kind of
Oh, I
put the
completely agree. I
benchmark
don't
at.
think the The Ethan Page stuff was incredible. I don't think Tony D'Angelo stuff was great at all. I'm just
Mm.
going through my head. Who else did he have? He had the match with Ridge Holland,
Yeah,
which was like 3 years after. It was 2 years after Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes main evented NXT
yeah,
Takeover, like to the day.
yeah,
And I just remember getting really sad
yeah,
because you
but
had two of the best people to have ever stepped foot in NXT to Trick
yeah,
Williams and Ridge Holland.
it is. To be fair, it is hard to kind of compare it to them two, who are now world-class athletes in the main roster.
Oh yeah,
I don't know where Dragunov is right now. Is he injured
he's
still?
injured. He's been
Oh,
injured
okay.
for 4 months now. It's
It's a shame.
not looking great.
That's a shame. Uh, but yeah, yeah. He's just nothing. He just is NXT, isn't he, Trick? And that's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
Sometimes people make it through like that. And I guess maybe at one point he'll come to the main roster, but at this point in time, no, I don't think he's ready. But I'm sure they probably will call him up anyway. We'll see.
All right, then we move on to SmackDown. There's not too much to talk about in terms of SmackDown.
No.
We've got Roman Reigns is the second confirmed entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Hmm.
You've got him and Cena.
Yeah.
I think there's a case to be made that he wins it. I
Reigns?
think, yes, I think there is an argument that you can do Roman Cody 3 as
I
a
don't.
fallback, as a failsafe if they have
Yeah.
nothing else going on.
Yeah, but I think it would be a dropped ball if they did that again because there is so much to do right now. I see what I thought could happen is The Rock comes and eliminates Reigns. See, that could be something to work on, but I just don't see it. Somehow I don't see it anymore.
I just don't, until we know what The Rock's doing, it's so difficult to look at any of main roster WWE right now and be
Yeah.
like, oh, this makes sense to go there, there, and there, because no one knows what The Rock wants. The Rock does what he wants, and he's made that clear from the start. Triple H has made that clear as well. The Rock will always be in the promo that The Rock wants to do.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just I keep saying it, but it's so hard to predict what's going to happen. And this Rumble is probably the most unpredictable Rumble I've seen.
Oh, in a long
Almost,
time.
yeah,
I
in a
think
long,
the
long time.
closest I can remember to this is something like 2018, 2017, when 2017 Orton won out of nowhere, and 2018 was Nakamura.
Yeah,
But compared to this year, I think realistically, you could make arguments for Rock, Roman, Cena, Punk, Seth, maybe, Drew, maybe.
yeah.
There's 6, 7 names off the top of my head.
Hmm.
Let alone someone that could go after Gunther, I know I said Drew McIntyre, but you've still got so many names on that could go towards Gunther and
Yeah,
fight him for the world title. But it's a great thing to have for the Rumble. And I think we'll
yeah.
probably get closer to knowing who's going to win it as we get closer to the day. And I think Cena is the favourite for a reason.
We're not too far away though. You have to remember, we're not that far away from the Rumble. I
I
mean,
remember
it's
with it being
just under
February
a
1st,
month.
it feels longer than it is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but how much are we gonna have? How much are we gonna have to know by the time it's Rumble? I
I
don't
imagine
know.
not much, to be fair. I don't think there's going to be much in terms of storytelling going into it.
I do hope they keep it that way. I want it to be an unpredictable Rumble. I want to just watch, not knowing what's going to happen. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
The only other so I've got two more things I wanted to mention from this show.
Yeah.
First one is the main event. There's not
Mhm.
much to say about it because we have mentioned it a lot. Jacob Fatu and Tamatonga against Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
The only note I've got for this match is, oh my God, Jacob Fatu. And that is it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we
He's
covered it
so
earlier,
great.
didn't we? Yeah. He's just
He's
unbelievable.
And maybe he's your Roman match at Mania.
Possibly.
And
I'd love to see
maybe
that.
and maybe he should pin Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't
I
mind it.
don't know if that's a world where that can ever happen.
I see. It surprises me that I'm okay with that, and I mean I'm saying it,
Yeah,
so it's weird. But I love Roman Reigns, and I still think that would be an unbelievable result, and I think it'd be yeah, I think it'd be great. I genuinely think
it'd
it'd
be
be
career
really good.
making at the end of the day.
100%, and he deserves that career making moment because he's that
Oh,
good.
definitely.
They need to get him off the back burner of Solo. I don't want him to be any of the Solos like handyman or whatever you call it. Um, he
No, I
needs to be
completely
a
agree.
Solo kind of because he just is that good. He just is that good.
I think we're at a point where we're gonna have Jacob Solo is probably a Mania match, if I'm honest. but I just want him away from it. Just even if it's just for a couple of months, he can even keep Solo there and not split them up. Just move them away. Have Solo become a manager for Jacob Fatu for a couple of months or something like that to make Jacob your main star.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Because I
mind a
don't think
Solo
Jacob Fatu is
Jacob
going to be on.
Mania.
I don't think Jacob Fatu is going to be on Raw.
No,
So make him your biggest star on SmackDown.
yeah. Apart from
I think.
Cody, but that's champion, isn't it? So
Oh
it's
no, I think Cody's on Raw.
what when they do the reshuffle.
When they do the big shuffle, which I think will probably be after Mania.
Yeah,
I know that they're doing bits here and there now. I think Cody's on Raw, Gunther's on SmackDown.
yeah. I think Bailey's just moved to one of.
Well, this is. We'll move on to it now because that's what I want to talk about finally. So we're talking about Bayley moving to Raw.
Yeah,
Potentially, well, that's what was hinted at in the backstage of the Chad Gable promo on Raw this week.
yeah.
But Tiffany Stratton, she comes out and does this promo, and it's not great, but
No.
only because the crowd don't know how to react.
Yeah, they don't know how to push her at the moment. It's difficult. I think she should be heel. I think she works better as a heel.
But then,
Um,
do you have to turn Nia Jax's face?
yeah, I think
Because
you
no
do.
matter what, I don't think people will cheer Nia Jax, rightfully or wrongly.
Yeah,
Nia Jax will not get a good reaction no matter what. She will be booed.
I I don't want to say this rivalry's like a losing cause because it shouldn't be. They're two good wrestlers, probably in their prime. Well, Nia
But
Jax
you're
is
not
definitely in her
wrong.
prime,
Yeah.
but it's hard to push that rivalry. Um,
I
and
completely
at the
agree.
end, I think you can have one match between them and see how it works. But at the end of the day, I don't think it will work, and I think you have to move Nia Jax
No, me
somewhere
neither.
else. Um, I don't know when you take Tiffany off the belt, but it's not now. It's definitely not now.
Not a week after winning it.
No, 100%. No, no. I mean, like, as in the next couple of months, not even like Mania time. I don't think you take it off of there.
Do you think she had the belt going into Mania?
I Depending on what they do at Chamber. Obviously, I don't know what they're going to do at Chamber. Um, but you can let her lose a Chamber match because it doesn't really hurt your character losing a Chamber match because there's six people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that's what you wanted to do to set the belt off her, I think that's probably the best case. Unless you put her in a triple threat and let someone else get pinned, it's that kind of thing. But yeah, depending on what they do at Chamber, I think she could go to Mania with the belt.
Well, it may have not been a triple threat, but we did have the fatal four-way match to decide who faces Tiffany for the belt, which is next week.
Yeah.
So next week on SmackDown, we will have Tiffany Stratton defending the belt for the first time against Bayley after she ended up beating Nia Jax, Bianca Belair, and Naomi
Yeah.
to qualify for that. And it is a weird one. I think Bayley's a good first feud for anyone though.
100%.
She's so good at everything she does in the ring, on the mic, and she's not going to win next week at all because she
No,
had her moment last year.
you also they hinted at this rivalry when she first got the belt after Mania.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not like a long-term storytelling type thing, but you can hint back to it, and that's not a problem. But yeah, Bailey's a good fight for anyone. You get in a ring with Bailey, it's probably going to be a good match. So
Oh, definitely. I can't think of many bad Bayley matches that come to mind,
no, no, definitely not.
especially modern Bayley as well. So, I mean, she's been. People forget how much of a veteran she is in this industry. She was called up from NXT 8 years ago now.
Yeah, 100%. She, yeah, she must be one of the longest serving
I
women's,
think
except Becky and maybe Charlotte. Yeah.
Naomi,
Oh, of course. Oh,
Naomi and
Jesus. Yeah.
Natalia.
Yeah, but what is Natalia doing right now?
But other than those two,
Natalia in NXT at the moment.
no, she was in the IC tournament on Raw. I thought
Oh,
she'd win
shit.
it because of
Oh,
Bret Hart. Did you know she's related to Bret Hart?
really? What?
I think she might be Canadian,
Oh
but
my
I don't know
God.
what's ever given me that idea.
No.
I do think that is about everything we wanted
Yeah, I think
to
so.
run through this. I will say, because I assume the next time we do one of these will be around Rumble season.
Hmm.
I'm going to categorically ask you for your answers now. Men's
Cool.
Rumble, Women's Rumble.
Women's Rumble. I'm gonna start there because I need time to think about the men's Rumble.
Yeah.
Uh, Women's Rumble. I'm gonna double down and say Io Sky. I think she's
Okay.
gonna win it. Men's Rumble. I don't know. I don't know. As you said, there's like eight names in it that I could. It's like put them out of a hat and then just let them
You got
win.
to pick one. And please don't make it The Rock.
No, definitely not The Rock. I definitely don't think it'll be The Rock. Uh, hmm, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Give me your women's rumble first, and then come back to me for my
Right,
men's, and I'll have that
women's
first.
rumble. I think it's Becky.
Okay,
I think Becky Rhea 2 is your Mania match. Just
I
because I
wouldn't
can't
mind.
see anyone on the SmackDown side that wins the Rumble to go after Tiffany.
Yeah,
I think you might do Tiffy Charlotte at Mania, which
sweet.
I'd quite like to see.
That could be a shout. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But Charlotte winning the Rumble's a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't think fans will like that at all. I don't think I don't. I'm not sure if fans will like Becky winning the Rumble. To be fair.
Oh, people always love Becky. It's so
Yeah.
easy to get behind Becky.
What's the risk of Ronda Rousey returning?
Oh, I don't. It's a bad idea. Obviously, let's
Oh,
just
well,
get this
yeah,
straight. It is a terrible idea for everyone
awful,
involved.
awful idea. Yeah,
But imagine the reaction. Imagine the booze,
yeah,
especially if
true.
she eliminates someone like Io Sky last.
Yeah, that is the risk though, because I think she's open to it because Triple H
But
is
if you want
fully open to it
something
as well.
like that where you get that big crowd reaction, I think that's when you do Charlotte.
Yeah, or on the men's
Heel
side,
Charlotte
Lesnar,
wins the Rumble. Pardon?
or on the men's side, Brock Lesnar.
Oh God, no. Oh God,
You'd get
no.
a reaction for it though.
He
You'd
would,
get a
yeah.
big pop for it, and you didn't have
Might
to
be a
win.
boo.
Yeah,
It might be
probably would be
really,
a bit.
really weird if you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I said we were nearly done, but I've got to go back and say we didn't talk about Hulk Hogan being booed.
Oh yeah, quickly. Yeah, quickly.
Very
Funny.
quickly, before we wrap it up, we'll get the TikTok clip out of it.
Yeah.
So Hulk Hogan comes out on Monday Night Raw in blue state Los Angeles and
Yeah.
gets absolutely booed out the building.
Oh, it
And
was
I've said
hilarious.
it's blue state Los Angeles. Blue state California.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think it's fair to say that's the only reason it happened. I think it also happened because Hulk Hogan's a racist.
Yeah, I mean, The Undertaker came out and he was vocal about
Yeah,
voting for Trump as
exactly.
well, and he didn't get booed out of the building. It was because Hulk Hogan is a terrible, terrible person,
That's yeah.
and should be booed out of any building that he ever walks into ever again. Uh,
But they did
Deserved.
record a video package for him on SmackDown, and I guarantee that the plan was to have him out in the crowd. But they
Yeah,
saw the reaction on Raw and was like, no, no, we can't have him in person promoting Saturday Night Main Event.
no, you can't because he's a terrible person, and WWE will stick to their guns, and because he's a legend, as they called it, obviously. But sometimes let him go, man. Just let him go. Just distance yourself from him because he is an awful person. Like very clearly been an awful person for all of his career. Um, so yeah, I was happy to see him booed out of that building. It was
Oh,
quite
definitely. Poor
satisfying.
Jimmy Hart though.
I don't even know who that is, I'll be honest. I genuinely will be honest with you.
Uh, oh, don't worry about it. You've had enough. You've had enough time to think, right?
Yeah,
Men's Royal Rumble, 2025. Who's winning it?
John Cena.
John Cena wins the Rumble.
I'm gonna make that call now. Yeah, I'm gonna make that call
If
now.
you make it, I'll go the opposite. I think the Rumble's won by CM Punk,
Okay. But
and
that
I'm
was the two I was debating between. So
yeah,
yeah,
and I
definitely.
am very biased because I love that man with all of my heart. But CM Punk should win the Rumble, and
You think he could eliminate Seth as the last?
yes,
Yeah.
I think there's some way. I don't know how you do it for the belt, but there is some way that you get to Seth versus Drew versus Punk
Okay.
because they still haven't done that match, and I feel like they should.
100%. Definitely.
But that is everything I wanted to touch on. Alfie, thank you so much for joining me. And by that, I mean
100%.
letting me host your show.
Hey, look, we agreed this one was yours. I wouldn't be able to host this one. I don't know enough. You speak about all these people, and there's some people in NXT that I genuinely haven't been keeping up with, and I'm just like, well yeah,
What
I'm
is
just,
it? What actually is an Eddie Thorpe?
I don't know.
Like, if we actually just what is an Eddie Thorpe?
You'd have to describe him to me because I think I know who it is, but I don't know if it's
No,
the
you
guy.
can't describe Eddie. He's just the most bog standard, like creator wrestler
No, is he the
you've ever
bald guy?
seen.
Is that someone I
No,
know?
no, you're thinking of Tony D'Angelo.
No, Tony Dandridge. Is he bald?
Yeah?
I thought he had hair. See, that's how much.
Are you sure
He
you're
wears a
not
hat.
thinking about Obafemi?
No, but oh yeah, they look like really alike. Yeah, pretty much the same person. Who's the bald guy?
The bald guy, Rich Holland?
No, no, don't worry about
Is
it.
Eddie?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, Sean Spears.
Ah, him. Yeah,
The old
Yeah, I know him.
AEW guy, Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, I know him. Is he not
No,
in
he's
WWE
bald.
anymore?
There he is. He's in NXT.
Oh,
He went to AEW, then came back to NXT.
okay. Right. Well, there you go. That's. I mean, that's what I pretty much know.
All right.
Yeah.
But Alfie, thank you for joining me this week.
100%. I really enjoyed it. It was
Hopefully,
good.
if I can convince Alfie to do this again, I will see you all at the Royal Rumble.
Well, we'll do it again after the
And
Royal Rumble. 100%.
we'll definitely do it after or before the Rumble. Either works.
Mhm.
Check out State of Play on Instagram. All social medias, they'll all be in the description below. Please check
I
out
don't know
This
where I'm
Week in
gonna put it.
Wrestling as well, because that's my baby. That's my passion for it. It's down there, isn't it?
I don't know. It depends where I edit it in.
You could
Point
mess me
somewhere
over here.
and I'll
I'm just
edit it in
pointing at
there.
anything now. Yeah,
Point somewhere and I'll edit it in there.
there.
Oh no. That's gonna be on my face, that one.
No. So Instagram there,
Okay.
Twitter there,
Yeah.
and the website on my crotch.
I can't see your crotch, but yeah, sure. Don't stand up. Don't
I'm
stand
not
up.
going to stand up. I'm not going to stand
Good.
up. I can't
Very
do it.
good. Right. Awesome.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so much for joining
there
us
you go.
all, and we will see you for TilTheBell, Whistle, episode
Till the
2,
whistle. With the
which will be
actual
next
episode
week.
2 till the whistle. Yeah, it'll be next week sometime. We'll get it out. We'll get it out at some point so Joe doesn't shout at us.
And we can talk about that Lyndon Dykes goal.
I don't want to. I don't think I
What do you
could.
mean?
I don't think I could. I think I'll just like scream or something.
I don't think
It's just...
anything we could say about it will do it justice.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, but we will see you for Till the Whistle next week.
We'll see you for Till the Whistle next week. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.